unse Santos every Brazil Serie A nim aba omulowa division Omari the relegate omo son like fine fenchem Caribbean kamanitu a kiebe ya na ye but we need it Santos a world Pele we are seeing a honor boy Roma can see that makoka Roma can see that say Openyi to say world Pele team ni ahwa maniko relegation but Brazil the omo maniko now Neymar is the one resurrecting the team Santos financially and sporting decisions officially onye official and as a management member but the clouds and in akoma pa and in the generosity nti ene oboa
Silver 98.3 FM
now sikasem ne how o mesia ba wi wase ho ne baby o mo woni nti enyo ma ye den amomo
sure
but Neymar are convincing Puma and now Puma are ready to make a generous offer Puma is ready to partner with Santos and is willing to pay Ambrose termination fine with the club. Santos entine meet requirements be. Ama Ambro for air fine omo Puma for si yate. Mumfa mo asem sebe mumfa mo musu nko. Ye munji musika na monko. So now we are having Puma sponsor Santos for the first time. And it's all as a result of the generosity of Neymar. On the 17th of November, Santos for Bebo game, Neymar be wo hobi. The rise and also the resurrection of Santos hinges on the efforts of one man. And there's even reports where say or terminate the contract ne what Hilal.
Sure.
Na only Santos for be sign.
Silver 98.3 FM.
Santos at the lower division. Na or attractive crowd, attendance, Scaba team nim, na or lefty team ni nom sabi raw Brazilian Serie A. So that is it from Neymar. Now let's go to the other news in Brazil, which is of a national team interest. Inti omami image number 5 for honum. Yen him say Nike and our sponsor Brazil for a very long time.
Yes.
In fact, you saw the who umbro kakrebi, but then a Nike featuring iconic jerseys, iconic adverts, and even iconic boots. Who boot to a Nike? I wouldn't say a Brazil player never said. Now. The CBF will renew their deal with Nike despite a $1 billion offer from Adidas. Adidas for any abre. Omu ye bibia, they are doing anything possible to get the national team Brazil on their kitten sponsor, and I said on their kitten line. But Nike for you remove
Silver 98.3 FM.
Offer. Intika kanke kro we anka decision ben anke beteki. Say Adidas Emma the Ghana Football Association 1 billion. So munjai Puma muno befa. Eventually nkebe says can. But we no ni echi asem ne nanka. Ebe yen sem bebre. So that is it with the brand Brazil. Even though currently they are not up there in terms of performance, any relevance, and I say making themselves known as a powerhouse of football when it comes to competitions. But still the brand power is solid. Kaka Brazil schedule, ultimate check your schedule. Omu ye book that till 2 years and over. So be nya money on my ball friendly matches. Me to bear 2027.
Sure,
it's still a power brand. And look at how Adidas is scrambling. Say $1 billion offer. Munjai Nike na mumbe so imu. Yet still Nike ekremu dendending. It's always getting better and better off the field for Brazil, but there's a lot of on the field issues. Brazil wana so Pep
Silver 98.3 FM.
Omo Football Association President Ababi Dina say enye no kre. Say omo pursue Pep Guardiola. But we live to see. Media me many tete ho. Say ma be kan wa say ono no wa kan won nsem so opeso managing national team. Wabo Brazil din and then Spain so din e linked. Ono so personally also opeso achieve 99% possession in football.
Silver
in one game.
Yeah.
Silver Sports.
And the energy this Brazil ho no betim ISAD and especially no more qualifies and you mo kochi Bolivia ni hwan for no countries no mo gugu ase woni bia no aboss and 99% possession no. Now let's come to Europe and then appreciate the tightness and the keenly contested Serie A. Shadrack Emma Serie A table no the black background the woman no. Over the weekend we saw big gains from the Serie A, but a look at the table tells us that yes, it is going to be the hottest amongst the leagues. So far, Upe League is tight. watertight and from Amfemukra, the Italian Serie.
Silver 98.3 FM.
Various teams have risen up to the occasion. The only team I found wanting is Roma and Milan. All the other traditional clubs are up there, and even in the recent, and I said Nanuya team on also ababe kahono on also so HABB, which is Atalanta. Fiorentina there or a traditional Italian club. Now come there call and Amra Danintia, but this time around they also find themselves there. From the first to the sixth, just 2 points in a separate. Is that crazy, Kaka?
Yeah.
Napoli were 26, Atalanta were 25, Fiorentina were 25, Inter Milan were 25, and Lazio were 25, and then Juventus or that sixth were 24 points. So it's getting hotter and hotter at the top of the table. And as at now, you still can predict, even though say Obe single out Napoli, any Inter Milan, because of Omoakoye previous winners, any from the look
Silver,
of things,
98.3 FM.
11, they still look like a teamer. They are a formidable force.
Yeah.
Now, Uncle, next one, now you appreciate this teamer almost so sorry pa. Teamer, your friend of Fiorentina. But if I'm Moise Kean, the Netuso, if you see you baby, I know baby. Kaka.
Yes, exactly.
Moise Kean or one of the traveled strikers. Or both teams pa uswa. But both teams pa, both Juventus.
Yeah.
Or both Fiorentina.
Yes.
Or Benin and Premier League, no boy Everton.
Yeah.
I think say Oko PSG na.
Yeah.
Mon check him out. Oko PSG so. So at age 23 or 24, we're too quite papa. But finally, he seems to have settled here. And Abuano, now saying he was in and out of the national team.
Yes.
And even in the midst of Matteo Retegui, Atlanta for striker now 11 goals this season. Moise Kean so rare. But look at his numbers. This season, for 11 games, was 11 goals and 1 assist.
Silver 98.3 FM.
Information we no only leady go ken.
Yeah.
But still na Matteo Retegui and a leady wo. And then Ubesashe say in almost last 6 or 8 games, Fiorentina and Lusu game, we draw 1. And Oma say winning consistently in the league.
Sure. Telling
You say after so many managerial change, a few additions, it has really worked for them. One of these remnants, player, a friend, Moise Kean. Another one, David De Gea. Me the David De Gea we na ma minim sa ba dia fe no so to so mame. Ono so ye you baby anu akọ baby. Nioma na ye nim se na onye no. Se say no start ye. David De Gea wa transforming. He's not just about short stopping. Now Enra Unya the first assist in a long while, and I think saying in the career cry stand to be corrected. So for now, David De Gea has provided an assist for Fiorentina.
Silver 98.3 FM.
Moise Kean inya hat-trick Now when you assist, I save 2 penalties. At Manchester United, ball to his feet was something else. Helping build that play was something else. Looking out for counter-attacking situations, IB or Suma Bono Dinya assist was also another thing. Right now, or assisted. Again, the penalty stopping at Manchester United was questionable. The last time I made Kai say o save penalty or Manchester United, at that time na Van Persie da so bo Arsenal. Ache ye pa. David De Gea was always struggling in the face of penalties. Now, Oko Fiorentina, this season, watch it 2 penalties. I think it was in the same match or so. And even the same match, right? And even in Omo European Cup, and I say European playoffs, no more boy, so Osameki save, penalty save, into all canning in Accra Boma, 3 penalty save altogether.
Silver 98.3 FM.
And then Napoli. I felt say Inter really let themselves down by way of how Musi approach game, and then the in-game actions. But we give kudos to the team Napoli because at the end they nearly nicked a win. Last minute chance be only for the technique a striker no choose and attack no choose and Kiantia sem de wa say. But you look at Inter Milan and you ask questions about what is wrong with their front line. It looks like say Thuram any Abrante Lautaro partnership this time around momentum now akofom kakra because somewhere around last season one was providing a lot for the other to score This time around, no, Thuram and one more goals. But the provision, the supply, and the add up from Lautaro no and match up. Interme ni mo a flat kakra. But Eche no they are solid. Jan Bissaka Bishim, Asebi Suye back. Bastoni or Resteni during Arsenal game no. They were well on form.
Silver 98.3 FM.
But you kunsu no one is a boy hina. And Hakan Kanalogulu. After 19 penalties, I know what she need no. And we be jina ho anam say record the nya boss a na say boba. Because in the game no, he was spectacular. Now she go or share. I think say in Europe no, open play on ball strike it. Say ball ne da o me fa technique in ball. Enko short, enko long. And spin it and kill it. Ball ni si one end there. Hakan Kanalogo be any ho. In Europe. I stand play on ball strike it. I am bobo him. Eyo no. Now, Obejina penalty ni hono. He was too confident. Sure. And I did out tired there. Kaka, I said you were foul for a BO down room. And also they're saying Kenya Jumebia. But unfortunately, Bonico Bo poster, rebound no crown Sam Bansamano. So Inter Milan really let themselves down. But kudos to Napoli. Antonio Conte team, no. Even though
Silver
they lost
98.3
in the last
FM.
2 games no, in the Italian Serie A no boy no. But yet, Omachre say indeed, they can still wrestle it up against the big boys. And a boy ye, because as a result of draw, no, point gap in what Inter drop it, or no answer drop it. Juventus, we need eventually there, but on closing, sir. So it's still watertight in the Italian Serie A. Eventually, I think the title race is still between Team Ifreno, Napoli, and Inter Milan. For Roma, the end of the day, it was always coming. And throughout the week, reports nearby was clear. Say, then opening Ivan Juric, he be in a free honum. And over the weekend, Fufi Antuata, the unexpected happened again. And I said the usual for Roma happened again. Almost a Lusuye by 3-2. And now I'm hearing say upon names normally 2 joining in Eden Terzic, De Rossi na Kradin Sawum, and then Mancini, and then
Silver 98.3 FM.
Claudio Ranieri Munina them. They finally look to settle at Mancini. Mancini is up 2 years pay. Sebi akokra wenyini on passing bia. They say boys ni ye football ni no anu edin. Otenemu cha na so be because they say Carlo Ancelotti munina, Pep Guardiola munina, new masters here ye say kakra. Until he just wants 2 years and then manage to build something up for Roma or Honum. AC Milan manager ne Kansembi. Na ya mfa ni serious kaka. Minim se minya screenshot ni ma Shadraka. 5 days, I think 6 or 5 days ago, no can say boy Italian Serie A anymore.
Silver Sports.
In chance of Kobo Champions League. People thought dear Sebin se munu no kanisano. But what he meant was that the intensity in terms of man for man marking and then the whole aggression and how to settle around it, different to the Champions League. Okay. And eventually Ekoye Hosa Omobo 3-3 to Cagliari.
Silver 98.3 FM.
No aba abefi ene Cagliari abebo 3-3. Into Omubisa anane de or brush off question no, but he really meant what he was saying. It looks like say Italian Serie A na in Champions League. From an only coaching perspective, it might not necessarily be the general or the stats and data backed, but you know no, I feel they should still give him time. AC Milan team, talents ni wo. A few names were on they can build their team around, especially Tijani Rangers, Christian Pulisic, Yusuf Fofana. They are performing so well, and even at the back, I think that defensively, and Oman and your talent to be remu ye di jumedi pa. Straninya Pavlovic, unsettled yet, but they got Matthew Gabia, he's good, but Fikayo Tomorisu or Malik Tao honum. But they still need to go into the market and make a defensive signing. But for AC Milan, their best will be a top 4 finish. Title contenders.
Silver 98.3 FM.
Italian Serie A. Now for Yembla England. For Barcelona, in fact, let me hold on and go to England before. Their questions were around Manchester City responding to their past 3 defeats. And we all expected, I inclusive, say Manchester City be winning. But Kaka, from the look of things, it looks like say ascending and descending or team the sorry I will form. Because me in particular, I can't really explain what is really wrong with Manchester City. It might not necessarily be the absence of Rodri in Kwa. Fine, the absence of Rodri may cause problems for how they want to play in and out of possession. But talent-wise, squad depth-wise, technical, tactical-wise,
Silver 98.3 FM.
But we should give kudos to manager Freno Hezler. That is the Brighton manager.
Sure.
And I think last week, I may share Brighton game, or more boy before we. I was saying, said this game is crying for Joao Pedro. And indeed, Obey in the second half, no be the game changer. Only Carlos Baleba. Ball. It won't finish for Carlos Baleba. And then Joao Pedro on and off.
Sure.
Ball movements. Now, Shadrach, anyway, now me name so the Bemamia, and it was a dominant performance by team friend Brighton. And yes, bia omo bo keke and I say ebeto omo fluke bi. Omunya the most tackles, 16 as compared to Manchester City 12. Omo create 8 big chances as compared to City 5. Omo expected SG and I expected goals equal 2.26 as compared to City 2.16. And then the goal scored 2-1. Eventually,
Silver 98.3 FM.
Manager, your friend Hedzler. Gradually, bia obetimi aye abro de deserve ye no so. Deserve be ye adwuma bebre. Ono so kan sem bebre or French league.
Yeah.
But I think the trajectory openyi we nam so no is on a different dimension altogether. We no utimi dane ne nsa no kakra. Deserve be no koye one way. Oppressor no bono or winning a higher up the pitch and utimi en nyoma. But this manager has the ability to adapt in so many ways, including the in-game management, any substitutions or the Joao Pedro Bema or Shego as a assistant or honum. Then offer other results into tsunami running a quick namin fancy or honum. We are Chelsea fan, you should be disappointed with your team's performance. I think the game was there for Chelsea to take it.
Sure.
Now a game also Chelsea teaming be free game we mupa. And it's a worrying sign. Against Liverpool, the game was there for them to take. Even against Manchester
Silver,
City,
98.3
Chelsea
FM.
Boy do a certain level. Yeah. Even against Manchester United, all these are big games. And Chelsea yen in your year eventually, and Kaye who say Liverpool actually move be. But the game ended in 1-1. Mikel Arteta hopefully got Odegaard back, but the symptoms still persist for them. Their arrogance in the market and their reliance on a false nine might not be the solution. Edin Ketiako, why not replace him? Obako fa Mikel Merino aba. It's okay. At the back, Calafiori beba be shame honum. But in this title race, and I said, Jumedi na don't want to shame. Now my so hell bent on winning the league. You need a classic center forwarder. At least at the end of the season, obet Premier League goals in 15 to 20. Can you rely on Kai Havertz say Obekoswa this Ejumediwe? I don't think so. You have two creators in Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard. Eventually, Baku Timi stand up. But the people still around them omo replacement. Look at
Silver 98.3 FM.
Players when it really matters most Omutimi stand up from there. Exactly. Squad depth ni wo there. But say Arsenal bold enough. Nanka January omako in the transfer market. Akore Ombenya striker bi and now eventually at the end of the summer, omu diskebi beto Victor Gyökeres and Nase Victor Osimhen. Baku embe remebe de jumedi moma. It would have been perfect. Again on Chelsea, their manager is still getting the in-game management wrong. I felt Cole Palmer should have been taken off. Cole Palmer is say no obi figure out.
Yeah.
Those are born on imbo oshemu bia ekoye. He knows how to lead the attack and get the attack thickened. But Rosho Bencha Noni Madueke has been ill performing since the last 4 games.
Sure.
But Joao Felix at the bench. There are a lot of players on the bench. Chelsea manager no circumspect. Now all both players be so in their real position. Actual role player. He can easily win games with his
Silver 98.3 FM.
Noni Madueke ni nambo ni mwa. Wow sir. And can Nicholas Jackson noni Madueke free moi. And once or the nkunku ni Joao Felix ebem. Nke no one no akele Arsenal for there no. So it's one thing he needs to look out for because the more ontimi nye saa de no the more other competitors need him.
Right.
And then Manchester United for us to take as I said Chelsea mo koye nyina ye wini mienu dane ye ho kakra bi 4 points pen dem. Nti mo de omo se omo ntwen omo. Se ne Ruben Amorim nyom na ba no. Na papa ni ti play mo abai na wa be draw ni de. Bibia be fine. Onye walking dead. Walking dead ni just say ti ase ewu. Oh, Debbie. Maresca mum kwa na yeti ase ewu. So onim Chelsea Chelsea on beti ma hwe mo abo season na o peke ya na yi wadi. That is one thing about Chelsea. U beti ma peke se wo ye adwuma ne pa ho kra na o me Chelsea ho na e be yi wadi. So they should rise to the occasion. But it was an interesting weekend altogether. Young welcoming
Silver 98.3 FM.
Right. Mr. Emmanuel Tufo and your